Hey BoLS fans, AdamHarry back again with another tabletop ready tips for the rest of us. Today I have a very fun project I'd like to show off. This is a very quick tutorial on how to make some Tyranid terrain. I know if you're like me, I have a Tyranid army and you just don't see any Tyranid terrain pieces, you know, most of the time at your favorite local gaming store. Maybe you're lucky and maybe they have a spawning pool, or maybe they ordered some of the big MySetics stack spore things from Forge World. But there's just not a lot of terrain to go around for Tyranid players. So today I came up with a quick tutorial. I've seen this done before, and I just wanted to share it. I thought it'd be fun to do. So yeah, it is going to require a quick stop to the hobby supply store, wherever you lobby to get your hobbies done, if you know what I'm saying, or if you know a friend that, you know, the hobby store. So you'll have to go in. I know it can be a little weird sometimes, but you're gonna have to go in there. You're gonna need some of these paper mache eggs. They come in different sizes like this. I've seen them even larger. I just got these because they were, well, to be frank, they were cheap and there was a lot of them, so I grabbed these sizes to show off what you can do. You're gonna need a Sharpie, hot glue gun, and you're gonna want to get your serrated knife from the kitchen, and you're not going to want to tell my wife I'm using this, so please don't let her know that I'm using one of our nice knives for a hobby tutorial. And if you are a kid at home with your parents, please ask permission. Matter of fact, get them to help with you, help you with this, because this can be a little tricky, a little dangerous. So yeah, get their help. We're using a very sharp object today, and it will chop off your fingers, and I'm not going to be held responsible for that. So, that said, let's get started. All right, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to take one of your eggs, as you have here, the paper mache eggs. I like to draw little guidelines. This is a little tricky with the camera in the way, but what I like to do is just divide it up. If you've ever been to like a fancy Japanese steakhouse, you might recognize this trick I'm about to do. We want to get to about the halfway point, and I'll show you why in a second. So about there. So we'll probably get 3, maybe 4 cuts out of this. And what you're going to do next is you're going to take that super sharp and nice knife, and you're going to be very, very careful with your fingertips. And this is just like cutting an onion. So the reason I went with the serrated blade is just because it's like cutting a loaf of bread. This thing is hollow on the inside, so you need a nice sharp knife, and you need to not tell my wife again, please. And so you're gonna saw back and forth, and this is paper mache. It should go right through, and ta-da! And you're gonna save all of these cuts, okay? I'm going to do the rest of this off camera because I do not want to slice my finger open, and this stuff is in the way. So safety first. Again, get your parents' help. Husbands, talk to your wives about cutting an onion if you've never done it before, but it's kind of the same trick. So yeah, I'm going to pause. I'm going to go cut this, and I'll be back with the bits. All right. I am back. I finished the cuts, as you can see here. I just got 3 solid cuts. The reason I stopped here is I got to the halfway point, and you'll see why I stopped here in a second. So the reason is, what you're going to do now is, if you've ever gone to those fancy Japanese steakhouses, you know they do the little choo-choo train trick with the volcano with the onion. Same concept. We're going to take the part that went on top, like this. We're going to take them and we're going to kind of swap them out. So we're going to put the bottom, we're going to put it inside instead of the outside, and see what this represents. And what it looks like, once you get that all squared away, is it looks like the Tyranid chitin on the back of the guys. Kind of like the ridges you see there. So we have the same kind of thing going on here. So that's where the hot glue gun comes in. We're going to glue all this stuff shut. But we still have this extra bit, and I have a plan for this. Don't worry, this is not going to go to waste. So I've got a couple more of these that I had done already. So I'm gonna glue these together, and then again we've got these smaller ones too, and I can show you some more tricks too with the smaller ones and this bit too. So save those; they are not going to go to waste. But for now, let's focus on these. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip these inside out and glue them, and then we'll be right back. Actually, I just realized I'm going to go ahead and show this off on camera real fast, just to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So what I like to do is do a real quick dry fit to see where they're going to line up. So you can see like that. So you can rotate it a little bit to make it more snug. Then you're just going to put, I have some wood glue. You can use regular PVA glue. It doesn't matter. And we're just going to get a little sloppy with it all over there. So, and take that, oop, drop it in there, and like so. Make sure it's snug. You can use the hot glue gun. I know I talked about it earlier, but I'm just using the wood glue because it's going to dry a little bit faster. So, and it's a tighter bond. Also, this is why I like to keep a rag around for just such an occasion. You need to wipe up some spilled glue. So maybe have one of those for your hobby supplies. So same deal. We're just gonna put that on the edge, and this is all gonna get painted anyway. So feel free to get crazy with it. So this is not a neat project. And see, that goes in right there. Da-da-da. And you see where we're going with that. So I'm going to finish up the other one, and then yeah, we'll come back after this is dry. Okay, as I'm waiting for the glue to dry and the hot glue gun to kind of kick in, there was a couple of things I wanted to go through real quick. I am going to be basing this stuff. I'm going to be gluing it down to some cardboard, and I'm going to make this the kind of the base of the terrain, so it's nice round. These are cake boards. You can find these in the, I don't know, the cardboard section where you probably found near the paper mache eggs at the hobby store. These are really cheap. This is $2.49. So it's 6-inch cake boards. I know exactly the size of these, and I'm going to use this side down. While I'm waiting for the hot glue gun to warm up, as it were, I'm going to do another quick thing. I'm going to take the smaller eggs, and instead of using the big serrated knife, these are a little bit more delicate, so I'm using just an X-Acto knife, and it's the same basic principle, but I'm going to cut these at a different angle, so they don't have to be perfectly straight or square. So you're just going to punch in, and again, kids, get your parents' help if you need to. This is tricky, plus I have a camera in the way, and I'm probably going to stab myself, and you guys all laugh, but I'll be at the hospital. So I'm just going to go nice and slow, and again, we're going to do this at a jaunty angle, as it were. And the reason is, these are not going to be perfectly symmetrical. I don't want them to be. You'll see why in a minute. So we're just going to keep going. And hopefully I don't slice my thumb open or anything. Keep pushing. It's a little tricky. This, I guess these guys had like some kind of plastic inner tube thing. Anyway, you get the general gist of it. It's gonna be at a weird angle, and the reason is, when it's done, I want it to be like that. So, and you'll see why once the hot glue gun is done warming up. So I'm gonna finish this because I need to just get it slightly course corrected there with the cut, and then I'll be back when the hot glue gun is ready to do some gluing. These are still drying, but I'm not worried about those yet. These are ready to go. So what I've done is I've kind of arranged these in a kind of a shape that I figured was appealing. Let me move this wire real quick. That I thought would be appealing visually. So these are going to end up being like egg sacs or weird growths coming out of the planet's surface or something like that. You could also use them as like Nurgle or you know, demonic, gross-looking terrain, I guess. But we're going to take the glue gun, who is now warmed up, ready to go, and we're just going to put some hot glue around the edges. And you're going to want to move quick on this, because once the glue sets, I mean, it's hot glue if you've ever worked with hot glue. It can burn you, so be careful. Again, kids, get parents to help out, and just once that's good to go. And it's okay to get the little streamers, because that adds to the alien, gooey, gross look anyway. So, but we're just going to put the glue around the edges real quick. And it's not terribly hot, but it is hot enough. You might get a blister, but if you get some on you like that, yeah, you can kind of rub it off with the dead skin. So, and once it sets, yeah, you gotta move quick with the hot glue. I will say that. So, and we'll fill the gaps here in a second, but keep going. You probably don't even need to go around all the edges as thoroughly as that, but you can. And then we'll kind of do that, and then just to make sure we get good seal. I'm gonna set that down for a second. Get these stragglers out of the way. And again, it didn't really burn too bad. It's, you know, if you've handled a hot plate at a restaurant, it's like that. We're just gonna fill these gaps with hot glue, or just go around and kind of make it a little bit neater. So, Admiral neater. Sorry, this is a Star Wars joke. And we're just gonna go around the edge like that, just to make sure there's no real gaps. That's the cool part about hot glue. And the reason you can get away with this too is we're going to do something here in a second to make it look even more slimy and alien-y, but it's going to be after we prime it, and the reason is it'll look better. So this is all about the visuals. Alright, so that's going to set. These are still drying. I'm waiting on those. I'm going to do these now, and yeah, so I'm going to pause and we'll be back in a flash. I'm finished hot gluing for now. I've unplugged the hot glue gun just in the meantime. You probably want to put that over something you don't care about if it leaks, so like that. So these are drying. I have more of these 6-inch literal cake plate, pie plate things that I'm going to use for those here in a sec. But you see the general formations here. I'm going to paint these now, so I'm going to prime them. I have some different colored primer. I think for this case, I'm going to go for some Tamiya color, the brown. The reason is for my NIDs, they have you know, their armor plates are brown, and then I put bone on top of them. And so I'm going to paint all these brown to start, and then I'm going to dry brush back over that with well, not really dry brush, but streak brush with the bone color. So I'm going to go prime these right now, and the glue is pretty much dry. If you get any stragglers, again, just pick them off. You can touch it. It should be sticky once it's fully set. I mean, you can wait 30 minutes. It should be done. But you can see here with this one, I got a little bit messier with the glue filling in the gaps and stuff like that. I wanted it to be some kind of like egg pond pool thing, and there was a big gap there, and I just put a bunch of hot glue right in the gap to fill those holes. So it makes it all goopy and nasty looking. So, and that's perfectly fine because Tyranids. So so these are still drying. They're pretty good. With these, I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna paint these as well. So I'm gonna go spray them brown, and then I'll be back, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, as you can see here, I just got done priming. I'm in a different room with a vent fan. It was actually a little wet outside. It just started raining. So if you live in a humid environment like I do here in Texas, what I like to do is if it's raining outside, what I'll do is I'll put the primed models or the sprayed models here just to let them dry. I'll put them in a room with a vent. It gets pretty loud, but about 20 minutes later, all this stuff will be nice and dry, and the fumes will hopefully be dissipated, and I can get to work. So, and I've also got a fan that's blowing down on these models as well. So I'm just gonna let them dry. So it's kind of like baking in an oven. So let these bake. I'm back after letting these dry. I almost made a huge mistake with the egg sacs. My spawning NIDs, my Turvagons, their egg sacs are green, as you can see here. So I almost painted the egg sacs bone, but then I was like, oh wait, my particular NIDs are green. So I'm gonna go back and what I did is I sprayed these yellow. It'll create a nice highlight when I put the green over top of them. So and then I'm gonna base this with sand and everything anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we'll get back to these, but for now we're gonna stick with this stuff. So I've got some old school Shotty bone. I think one of the newer colors might be Screaming Skull. I'm not sure anymore. But it used to be whatever bone. So you're gonna get your paint, make sure it's all shaken up. I have some Shotty bone. Actually, I'm gonna use, I think I have a little bit more of this. I'm gonna use this stuff. So, and I have an old school GW tank brush. I'm just gonna kind of flatten that out a little bit. I did soak it a little bit so it's wet. We're gonna get some paint on it, and then we're gonna paint these pretty sloppily, and I have a camera in the way too. So, but we're just gonna drag the brush strokes up and kind of paint it like so.
and we want some of the brown to show through because this is supposed to be like bone or chitin coming through. So you're just going to do that so you can see a nice, we're going to do that around the whole thing. So keep going. Kind of go like that. You're just dragging the brush generally in one direction. There's not a lot of texture on these egg sac things, on these paper mache eggs anyway, so dry brushing really wouldn't do much. There's a little bit of texture, but it's not glorious. This could also work with, like, if you had a coconut. So that's kind of what we're going for here. Kind of a sort of a coconut look. So, well, not a bone colored coconut, but the brown and the bone coming through. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. Alright, we're just doing that. And then the top, you're just gonna drag it back and forth. This is more of a dry brush anyway. And then there you have it. You've got this weird looking bone structure. So I'm gonna do the other one real fast and then we'll be right back. These are pretty dry at this point. Those are setting, drying. I've got some old snot green, which whatever the equivalent color is. We're gonna get your brush, you're gonna dip that in water, and you want this to be pretty runny, but we're gonna get quite a bit of paint on the brush tip. So it's plenty of water, I'm not getting rid of the water. And then we're gonna do very light coats and build up from there. So just gonna slap it around here. This is paper mache, it's gonna get, you know, it's paper. So, but you can see there, you got this nice bright color on there now. So we're gonna keep going. And this is gonna take multiple coats, but that yellow is really shining through is kind of a weird highlight. So I'm gonna finish these up, and you can be pretty sloppy with this. Sorry if you can't see too well, but you can see the yellow and the green. For my Tyranids, this is kind of how I started doing this. So I'm gonna finish these up, and then I'll show you the final result. Well, not the final result, but I'll show you the result of the egg sacs when we're done. Alrighty, BoLS fans, we're here with the one of the closing steps here. It's not the final step, but I'm going to glue these down to a base. I've decided to go ahead and use that. I have the extra pie plate thing, so I'm going to do that. Just again, quick Tyranid Terrain. There's a couple of finishing touches you can do at this point. You can, well, obviously you're going to want to flock and base the bases with whatever your chosen colors are going to be. I've got my desert scheme that I've been doing, so I'm going to do that. On top of that, the last step you're going to do is once you get everything painted and based how you like it, you're going to get messy with the hot glue. So at this point, I'm going to finish up painting the project. So I'm going to base, I'm going to flock, do all that stuff with these guys to match my my army scheme for my Tyranids, and then I'll be back with the hot glue for some final madness. Alright, BoLS fans, we are back. I let everything paint and dry, situated, ready to go. As you can see, I've got the egg sacs ready over here, and I've got the armored plating things popping up out of the ground. I just used my typical basing scheme for my Tyranids. As you can see here, pretty straightforward, just desert theme. I'll probably add some details later, but this is kind of the last step. I've got the glue gun hot and ready to go. So what I'm going to do, and I thought about this actually while I was painting, these look a lot like cacti. You could get not paper, you can get toothpicks and cut them out, and even if you're not playing Tyranids, you'd have some really cool looking cactus. But since I am playing Tyranids, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the hot glue gun ready to go, and you're going to, this is tricky because I got the camera here in the middle. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a big blob at one top, and then just kind of drag it down slowly, and then you're going to repeat that process and make sure you have that big blob kind of at the top, and then you kind of want everything to kind of run down and get it all slimy and gooey looking. For final details and stuff like that, you could probably kind of drag some more. You could probably make them look a little bit more wet with a wash or something like that. So you can kind of go nuts at this point, but this is the final step, is just get the hot glue gun out and make them look like alien watermelons. So just gonna keep going, and so that's the whole process.
And you're just going to repeat until finished. And as long as you use the tip of the glue gun to move the glue around, you should be fine. It is very hot, so do not touch the tip of the glue gun. It will burn you. So, all right, get the rest of this slimy goo. And this, of course, will dry clear, and then you'll have these cool looking alien egg sack looking things for the rest. So I'm gonna finish this up off camera, but that's pretty much it for this tutorial. This quick tabletop ready. I know it's not that quick anymore. Kind of got out of hand, but I got carried away. You could do this for the chitin pieces, chitin pieces, if you wanted to. I am not going to do that for these. I think these look fine as is. I might add a couple more details and have a final shot when I'm done. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, Adam here from BoLS. Another tabletop ready. Thanks again for watching. If you like this tutorial, go ahead and throw us a like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and share with your friends. Again, signing off. Have a good one.